You know how it is when you are library builders and the information is all connected. It's like being a librarian of all the information, all the visual mathematical information that is circulating through the entire bioplasma on a planetary consciousness field. And then you begin talking about one subject matter and you realize it's all connected to everything else. And you lose a little bit of bits and bytes that got lost in the focus because you wanted to keep it a tight focus and not expand the library as fast as you were expanding the breath, right? So I forgot, because my initial video, the last one that I did about locks and keys, gate locks, having a key to the lock that unlocks the doors of perception. Remember Aldous Huxley, doors of perception, perception vibration. I've mentioned before about they don't get into our most sacred temples. They don't have the keys that open the locks. Okay. And the simple way to explain that is when you want to go into God's house, into the Eka God worlds, right? Remember, in God we trust. God always loves us. And I know that because of my own experiences, right? Of blowing holes in my own energy field as a result of wanting to learn how it is that a unit of consciousness falls as a result of trauma, right? And then restoring, if you will, the eternal spirit of fire that was always there. But in order for me to learn how you experience what happened to you, then I've got to experience what you did in order to experience what happened to you. Now I know how to heal you. Like that. So the example that I was going to use about entering the door back into God's house to have the proper key in the lock, then you think about, well, God let you back into the God world's house. So I use the example of this house. Okay? Because when the owner got here to the property, and I had never met the owner a couple of months ago. See, Aaron, I've known Aaron for a couple of years because I met him at La Hoi Hoi. Badass vortex there, right? Going in the wrong direction, right? A death spiral, right? You know, Nazi death head, SS, black shirt, black rock, right? And so I'd never met the guy. So when I was sitting out on the backyard doing some energetic work, he came walking around there, and I didn't know who the guy was. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" Right? And so I said, "Hey, can I help you?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm the property owner." Okay, well, welcome. And I introduced myself, right? And so we had how's the word go? Amicable. An amicable. You know, when you start with a smile on your face and your energy is up and you're in a state of love and joy, and then people realize that's sort of disarming energy, right? They don't have any reason to want to be aggressive, right? Because now they're experiencing your energy, which is what love is. And that establishes trust and a beautiful, friendly, and thriving relationship with others. So God's love knows how to thrive with others. Now they're experiencing God's love. That's simple enough. And so that afternoon, I sent Aaron a text, right? And I said, "Aaron, Jason's here. The owner's here on the property." And Aaron sends me a text back and goes, "Holy shit. I'm in deep shit." You are? What did you do? Right? What'd you do, Aaron? So it would be as if Mama gave you the keys to the house, gave the keys to the locks of the galaxy, right? And then coming back to this galaxy, man, what happened to this place? Right? It's like your parents coming home and finding out that, 300 people just wrecked the joint. Like, what happened to this planet? All you gotta do is look around. The evidence is in the mirror. Right? You want to trust them back in here again? Remember, I use the analogy of Mama's flower garden. You know, Mama, a goddess gives birth to you, right? Are you going to come back into your mama's house and destroy it? Would you do that to your mother? Would you do that to a goddess or a real God? Plug that into free will. So when Jason realized that there were a lot of things that he had anticipated were going to be taken care of, were not taken care of, and instead what he said to me is it turned into a flop house for drug addicts, blowing holes in their energy field. So he told Aaron, you got to go, buddy. So what did he do? He came up to me and he said, I've changed the locks on the house. Here's a key to the house. Oh, now that God's willing to give you a key to the house. Key to the locks. Why? Trust. In God we trust. God can trust you now. Right? See how that works with a 55 harmonic? A black hole? God's not a black hole. Right? Now we're back to restoration. Now we're back to genetic engineering. Now we're back into forbidden breeding experiments and why they're forbidden. Right? Because we experience the result in our mirror. And what it means to gain entry again by having the proper key to get back into God world, the echo worlds. So it's like earning God's trust again. Because you're always welcome in God's house, right? If you know how to behave yourself, right? You get a key, right? So now we're into behavioral algorithms. Now we're back into the quantum probability function. And that's whether or not you have the ability to be on your best behavior again. Which means love and service to others. Have you healed? And now are you a torque inverter? Instead of sucking energy out of God's heart and soul. When God is not an inverter. So now you're back to pre-phase matter consciousness. And the time it takes to load pixels, color, the holographic speed of the eyeballs. You know, your third eye, these two eyeballs, and the Rainbow 7 bridge. Take a nosedive off a diving board into the ocean. Saltwater atmospherics. Right? Oxygen. Oxygen consciousness. 21% oxygen. Right? 7. Now we're back to 3. The Trinity, the Triveca, right? And so, yeah, it's called access. Based on what? Honor. Honoring the code, which is honoring the code of conduct. A conductor, a super sensitive superconductor, hypersensitivity, right? I've experienced hypersensitivity. It was becoming rather. I'd rather not be in a non-physical form because I don't want to experience having to disturb the peace of one blade of grass. And I'm realizing at this level, this isn't working out very well. Because now I'm having to push love back into the blades of grass everywhere I walk on the ground. Right? Pressure, displacement, water table columns, log scale distribution columns, right? Gain and loss of electrons, right? What's happening now? I listened to a video that apparently Carrie Cassidy was doing with some other Patriot network a while ago, and I thought maybe I was listening, you know, because the subject matter was 107, you know, James Bond 07, the nose, the 7. I know. You know, laughter is medicine, but it's not funny. You know, because there's still people. All you got to do is pull the videos up And it doesn't take long before you're experiencing somebody's trauma, right? Or you're getting hypertext mirrors, right? That are giving you more holographic information that represents a death spiral. You know, violence, predators, trauma, right? Just a barrage. It's just like when I was growing up as a kid. 75 to 80% of everything that was put in my face was all about war, 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 war. Right? Whoa. I landed on a war planet, not a love planet. And I landed in this place. Right? They're all at war against God. That's an illusion. Nobody's at war against God. God's eternal love. That's an illusion. Right? So you got to figure out what happened to God. Tech support. I need tech support. I'm trying to find God. Something's wrong with my software. Something's messed up with my codes. I'm running too many errors. What happened to the system design in here? Something went wrong with this grid. This API system doesn't have a connection to God. What happened? You fell in a hole, buddy. Here, we'll pull you up out of the hole. We'll pull you up out of the hole. We got a bridge for you. We got a bridge for you. You know, just like you see in that movie called The Inception, right? Or in some of the older movies with King Kong and those big journey to the center of the earth kinds of things. And you see them, everything that they were once standing on is now falling away. All the layers, all the templates, you know, all the overlays are falling one right after another. That's called a collapse. Like, man, this place is going to implode, right? And here comes a bridge, right? Just like bridging one apartment to the next, right? One capacitor to the next. We got to get over to this capacitor over here, right? This capacitor is working. We'll get you over here into this matrix. We're going to create a bridge. This one isn't falling. This one still runs on eternal God's love. Get you over here. Whoa, really? Yeah, this one's sane. Right? This one's thriving. Right? So you realize how this works in being able to push a pipe in, right? So that God's energy is coming in here, right? As a bridge, right? God is reaching out. I'm here. God's here. God's grounded. God's on the ground. Everybody here. That's right. That's absolutely right. And so, love is magic. It's the most powerful magic because the eternal spirit of fire is the most powerful spirit. All you got to do is look at Krakatoa, east of Java, right? Mount St. Helens, pressure-sensitive information, right? Pressure-sensitive visual informatics, pressure-sensitive mathematicians, hypersensitive mathematicians, right? Frequencies and vibration. Yeah. So, have a good afternoon. Hey, let's see. I wonder what the score is going to be tonight with this game. Anybody want to venture a gift? How the numbers are going to work out? Particularly consider what's today, the 7th, May the 7th, right? Yeah. What do you think the end score of the Warriors and Lakers game is going to be tonight? Want to venture a guess with the numbers? Number games, AI war games, gaming numbers, loss and gain, maintain the balance, right? Shell games, 3 shells. I know. Have a great day. Bye now.